Hey guys, it's Amelia here from Higher Standards Caregiver Training. Welcome to this week's 10-minute 2-Tip Tuesday. Excited to be here as always. I've got a couple of really great tips for y'all today. Of course, as always, the first one is for caregivers and the second is for caregiving organizations. However, I will say that both of these tips are really important actually for caregiving organizations. The first one, it's not less important to caregivers because of that, but that first tip is also really important for caregiving organizations. So I'm really excited to share it with you. As always, before we get started, this content is for educational purposes only. If you hear anything from me that makes you think of someone that you think needs to see or be assessed by a healthcare provider, please make sure that that person is assessed by the appropriate licensed healthcare provider, as this is for educational purposes only. By the way, do you like my blue blockers? They're not prescription, they're just to block the blue light on your computer screen. Super, super helpful. I wear contacts, I'm super blind. Anyway, but I digress. Let's get to tip number one, because we only have 10 minutes. Okay, this is something that I literally say, I think at least 3 times a week. I have probably said it in the course of my career, like, I don't know, 100,000 times or something like that. And so here it is. Here's what I say constantly. 98 to 99% of all of our problems can be prevented or solved with clear communication. Clear communication is absolutely vital for caregivers, whether they are helping someone with toileting, whether they're helping someone with bathing, but certainly if they are helping someone with a transfer, moving from one surface to another, or any kind of mobility. The key to safe transfers, one of the most important keys, because you could have all of the right equipment, you could have all of the knowledge and the know-how, but if you are not communicating to someone what you are going to do, when you're going to do it, and why you're going to do it, the chances of that transfer going well go way, way, way down. Think about it. If you're going to put your hands on someone and physically assist them to move their body, you need to have really clear, really calm, really open communication with that person before, during, and after the process. Now, honestly, communication is something that I talk, and communication strategies for folks who have dementia, for folks who have stroke, for folks who might have any other number of issues, diseases, injuries, or disorders. It's something that I talk about all the time. I probably spend hours discussing it every week with caregivers. So unfortunately, there's not enough time to go in depth on this issue during 10-minute 2-Tip Tuesday. But what I will say is it is important for caregivers to have special training and special knowledge in different kinds of communication strategies that they need to work with these different populations of folks in order to make sure that communication goes clearly, it goes smoothly, so that transfers and care go safely, smoothly, and are more enjoyable for everyone involved. But we're not going to stop there, because communication doesn't just happen during the actual care being provided. There are way more levels of when communication is really, really important. And that actually starts before the caregiver even walks in the door to care for the person that they're there to care for. So that means clear communication also starts with folks documenting in and actually reading the care plan before they go to see someone and after they see someone. It also starts with leadership, clearly communicating to and from caregivers what expectations are around different ways of communicating, what to do when different kinds of things occurs, and where people can go to find the information that they need. Because absolutely, before ever walking in to lay hands on anyone or provide any level of care, it's so important that it is communicated to the caregiver what kind of care that person needs, what level of assistance they usually need, what kind of transfer that they usually do, what sort of equipment is available in order to allow that caregiver to successfully prepare themselves to go in there and provide safe and effective care. So communication, it's absolutely one of the most important skills for caregivers that is unfortunately not addressed as often as it should be, but it is so, so vital if caregivers are going to be able to provide safe care to the folks that they're caring for. Okay, tip number 2. This is kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's a technical tip or not. I'll just say it. Okay, so for caregiving organizations, this is an important thing for any business to do, but especially caregiving organizations because you have so many moving parts, and that is to track your processes. If you're not tracking your processes, then it's very difficult to understand what's working, what's not working, where there might be redundancy in the system, where there might be holes in the system, where there might be an issue that's causing a problem that you're seeing over and over again. So it is absolutely vital for caregiver organizations to be tracking their processes. It's going to help you to determine when maybe you need to outsource a particular issue in your organization. It's going to help you figure out when maybe you might have an opportunity to actually automate a process and save yourself some time. Establishing your processes, monitoring them, and then really figuring out what works, what doesn't, so that you can define and refine them are so essential in order to make sure that your organization is a well-oiled machine and not something that is clunking down the road, just kind of surviving. And of course, once you have your operations and your processes defined and refined, then that makes it so much easier as you bring other people, more people into your organization and grow to make sure that they are doing things by that process in order to have great quality control and know that things are being done the way that you want them to be done. So that's it. Those are my 2 tips for today's 10-minute 2 Tip Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed them. Please make sure if you found anything beneficial from this, make sure that you share it with anyone that you think could also benefit from this information. I'm delighted to do this. I'm delighted to put it out there, and I want as many people as possible to get access to it. Of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me, send me a message over LinkedIn. I'd be happy to chat with you about anything. And in the meantime, I will see you next week on next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for next week's 10-minute 2 Tip Tuesday. Until then, take care, y'all. Bye.